I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Thursday, February 5th. Today, manhunt in the far north. What we know so far as Mounties hunt for a suspect and the woman they say was taken against her will. Also today,
grief that continues every single day where there's no closure, and today you get a little tiny bit of closure.
What unfolded in and outside of court as the man accused in the fatal beating of a Winnipeg restaurant owner is found guilty. Plus, losing faith. What a new survey says about Manitobans' trust in the healthcare system. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A dangerous person alert lit up cell phones across the province this morning after a woman was abducted from a northern First Nation. And Mounties are still searching for that suspect tonight. Cross Lake RCMP officers were called to a home in Pimicikamak Cree Nation around 5:40 this morning. Police say 39-year-old Joshua Papanikis entered the home and attacked a resident with a hammer before abducting 20-year-old Rianne Thompson at knife point. RCMP believe Thomas is in immediate danger. A large-scale search is underway in the area. Mounties warn Papanikis is likely armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Anyone who sees him or Thomas is asked to call RCMP at the number on your screen, 204-676-2600. Well, it took more than 2 years, but tonight the family of a Winnipeg restaurant owner killed following a violent confrontation outside his eatery says justice has been served. Today, a judge handed down a guilty verdict for the killing of Kyriakos Voyajakis. And joining me now live with the details is CTV's John Hendricks. So, John, what was the mood like in court today?
Marilee, there was an outpouring of emotion when Court of King's Bench Justice Sadie Bond found Curtis Ross Delbozic guilty of manslaughter. He was also found guilty on a second charge of uttering threats to a restaurant employee.
Today the courts finally stood up for a family, finally made a decision that was right in my mind, in my heart.
That's Voyajakis' brother, Michael Voyajakis, who was speaking after the verdict was read. In her decision, Justice Bond says surveillance video obtained from the Cork and Flame restaurant showing the 4.5-minute altercation between the two men was the primary piece of evidence in the case. She says Voyajakis started the altercation, which turned into a fistfight. By the end of the footage, Voyajakis was seen lying on the ground, while Delbozic continued to beat him. His brother says the verdict brings only a small amount of comfort for his family.
Kyriakos and I were best friends, not only brothers. Since he was little, I pretty much raised him. And for a mother to lose a son, you know, if you lost a son to cancer or to a heart attack or to a sickness, it's different. But when you lose a son to murder, it's something that doesn't go away. You live with it for the rest of your life. My mom is going through a life sentence that's not going to go away, and so is our family. And the pain is there. There's an empty chair at Christmas. There's an empty chair at gatherings.
Delbozic's defense counsel declined to comment on the decision.
So, John, what comes next then for Delbozic?
Well, Marilee, court heard that he's expected to be sentenced in April. CTV's Joseph Bernacki was in court today, and he will have much more detail on what unfolded and explain how the judge reached their decision. That's all coming up at 6.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, John. A Winnipeg officer who was at the scene of a fatal police shooting of a 16-year-old First Nations girl thought his life was in danger. Constable Serge Sylvester told an inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson he was standing near the stolen Jeep she was driving when his partner fired the first shot. Sylvester says he tried to apprehend the driver but feared he would be hit when the vehicle started moving backward in his direction. Hudson was killed in 2020 after the vehicle she was driving was involved in a liquor store robbery and police chase. The inquest, which started Monday, is looking at whether systemic racism played a role in the death and whether the use of force was appropriate. A new poll finds nearly 3/4 of Manitobans are not confident they'd get needed medical care in an emergency. The Angus Reid Institute online survey shows a lack of confidence among 73% of Manitoba respondents. Nationally, 59% were not confident about timely care. 3 in 4 Manitobans also say healthcare has deteriorated in this province over the last 10 to 15 years. And 69% are dissatisfied with Manitoba's healthcare system. The online survey was conducted from November 26th to December 1st and has a margin of error of plus or minus 1.5 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. Well, with work underway to boost housing across the province, a local advocacy group is calling on the government to create a new funding stream to help women and gender-diverse people secure a place to live. The Right to Housing Coalition says women and gender-diverse people face unique challenges when it comes to housing due to lower incomes and discrimination in the rental market, which is why it says the province should set up a fund to encourage new social housing, offer subsidies to keep rent affordable, and fund other tenant supports.
So there is funding for social housing, but we're asking to streamline the funding specifically for women and gender diverse folks so that they're not left behind, so there's not a struggle for these folks to compete within those housing markets or social housing markets to find a safe place to stay.
CTV News has reached out to the province for a response. We're still waiting to hear back. We're learning more today about a propane explosion at a facility in the RM of Taché, which injured 3 people. A provincial spokesperson now confirms the incident last Thursday happened at Prairie Propane in Saint-Geneviève, and all of the injured people were workers there. They say Manitoba Workplace Safety and Health issued the business 2 stop work orders and an improvement order related to propane service and maintenance work and the use of a forklift. They add an investigation is ongoing. Prairie Propane has not responded to a request for comment. The explosion sent 2 people to hospital, including one who was flown by Stars Air ambulance, while a 3rd person was treated at the scene and released. A plan to create an all-season road linking 3 northern First Nation communities is now one step closer to reality. An assessment by the federal government has concluded the proposed 141-kilometer road linking Mantosipi Cree Nation, Bunny Cree Nation, and God's Lake First Nation is not likely to significantly disrupt the environment. That is if the project properly follows mitigation guidelines. And some of those measures include minimizing emissions and noise, managing any changes to water quality, and protecting species such as birds and fish. The feds note the project would be subject to oversight, and any proposed changes would need to be submitted and reviewed. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. I'm pretty sure we got above freezing today.
You are correct.
A lot of melting happening out there.
Yeah, and change out there. We were well above freezing here in Winnipeg, but other parts of the province, soaring, catapulting beyond the freezing mark. I'll show you some of those coming up. But what I want to show you right now is different types of precipitation, because what with it being so warm, yeah, there's snow falling, but as you might expect, it's not just snow. You can see a little bit of rain popping up there very close to Winnipeg. I'll have more on that coming up. The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg right now, it is cloudy and 1 degree, no minus sign there. Winds light out of the north at 2 kilometers an hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 89%. On this Thursday afternoon drive home, a live look at the St. James Bridge. Steady anyway for folks heading over the southbound span onto Kenaston. Much lighter traffic volumes heading north.
There's a lot of really interesting things to see. You don't have to pay.
A creative collective, a sneak peek at some of the cool artwork going on display at an upcoming art show for a cause. That's after the break.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Once again, it is the amount of money being spent on building out AI capacity that is eye-popping. Analysts had estimated Amazon would spend about $145 billion this year on things like data centers, chips, and other equipment. But the company says it will be closer to $200 billion. Amazon says it expects strong return on these investments in the long term, but investors still have concerns. Amazon stock started dropping in after-hours trading. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.02. West Texas Intermediate down $1.85 to 63.29. Western Canadian Select is up over $1.50 to 49.48. And the TSX sank today, dropping another 576 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
Manitoba Hydro is beefing up security at its Portage Avenue headquarters. A Hydro spokesperson tells CTV News it's hiring institutional safety officers to be stationed at 360 Portage Avenue and other facilities. The move comes after a worker was attacked at Manitoba Hydro Place last week. The incident prompted Hydro to restrict public access to the building, and it remains under lockdown today. The Crown Corporation says 3 safety officers will start working on site next week. Hydro is also working with Manitoba Justice to expand the program. The spokesperson notes that plan was in the works prior to the incident. The province upgraded regulations last month to expand where safety officers could be stationed. Prior to that, they were only stationed at hospitals and post-secondary institutions. Real estate sales are down, but the average price is up. The Winnipeg Real Estate Board says single-family home sales dropped 17% in January compared to the same time the year before. The average price, though, rose 4% to just over $431,000. Condo prices also rose to an average of $275,000, while sales dropped 16%. Active home listings were also lower than those in January of 2025, as well as the 5-year average. A group of local artists is debuting some of their latest work in an upcoming spring art sale for a good cause. The Charleswood Art Group was started in 1951 by women, and 75 years later, it is still thriving. The group meets weekly to create together, host workshops, and try out new mediums. The spring art show will showcase some of those works. The collective says a portion of the sales is also going towards Cancer Care Manitoba's art therapy program.
Each person has a grid that they can display their art on, and so when you come in, there are 45 possible artists that you could look at. Their framed art, their unframed art, art cards, pottery, some glass work. There's a lot of really interesting things to see. You don't have to pay.
The sale is happening at Charleswood United Church from April 24th to the 26th.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Yes, I mean, if there's a gunshot or a door slams or something exciting or significant happens, then the music always backs that up.
Why the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is asking who done it. Stay with us.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting American rock legends.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and it seems like the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is on the case of a murder mystery.
So it seems, yes. Murdoch Mysteries Murder in F Major will fuse a thrilling whodunit with a live WSO performance on Saturday evening. It invites the audience inside the musical side of Canada's longest-running television drama, featuring original themes composed for the series as well as classical works associated with the show. It all culminates with the screening of the title episode.
I have a special monitor that gives me kind of time codes and flashes and pops and clicks and all kinds of things. And basically, I have to make sure that we're lining up the whole soundtrack exactly with what happens in the film.
Fans can also participate in a post-concert meet and greet with Murdoch Mystery star Daniel Mislani. The WSO will also perform a musical love letter to Paris with Jill Barber Friday night. At last check, a very limited number of tickets were still available for both shows through the WSO's box office.
A Canadian singer-songwriter is facing some backlash over a new ad.
That's right. Tate McRae recently appeared in an ad for the Olympics on behalf of the Americans.
I'm trying to get to Milan, and it's the weekend with America's best skating for gold.
You telling me you couldn't find an American pop star to do a similar commercial?
My exact thoughts.
Yeah, good question. There are many of them out there. McRae grew up in Calgary, but in this clip, she's talking about America and the U.S. Olympic athletes who will be competing. She is receiving major backlash online, with Canadians asking why. On Instagram, some fans are calling it a betrayal of McRae's roots. The singer does live mostly now, or live mostly now rather, in the U.S., and apparently she's also dating Team USA hockey player Jack Hughes. But fans are hoping she won't forget where she came from.
I guess a job's a job. Not really her fault. Just weird for Team USA to pick her.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know.
There's a lot weird about this for me. Now,
maybe they don't know.
Well, maybe they don't. But her fans here in Canada sure do. McRae has made what you could call a response to all of this. She posted this picture to her Instagram stories last night. It shows her as a kid holding a Canadian flag with the words, "Y'all know I'm Canadian, Canada down."
I don't know if that's going to make this all go away, Tate.
Yeah, I don't know if that's,
I was kind of on her side, but I don't know about that post saving.
I
She
don't
could have
know.
done better than that, maybe.
That girl was born and raised right here in Canada. There's lots of Americans they could have picked to represent Team
Canada?
USA.
Beat them on the slopes, I say.
There you go.
All right, now to an unlikely movie villain who has become the face of lunar New Year celebrations in China. What's going on?
Well, it seems one of the main antagonists in the Harry Potter franchise has unexpectedly become a lunar New Year mascot.
This is Crab and Goyle, and I'm Malfoy. Draco Malfoy.
Images of Draco Malfoy keep popping up ahead of the Year of the Horse. Now, reportedly, this is because the Mandarin translation of his surname Malfoy roughly sounds like the words for horse and fortune. Red posters with well-wishing messages are typical decorations for the annual celebration, but this year, many feature the grin of the infamous Hogwarts bully played by Tom Felton.
Interesting. Okay, kind of solves that mystery.
It sure does.
All right, thanks, Colleen.
The Tate McRae mystery remains unsolved. Your Thursday primetime lineup starts at 7 with Next Level Chef. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is at 8. Catch The Big Bang Theory at 9. And closing, George and Mandy's first marriage. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
CTV Primetime Lineup, brought to you by the Parkway Retirement Community. Welcome home.
A live look at Donald Street, very busy in both directions. It is cloudy out there, and you'll note there's no minus sign. It is +2 degrees. I will have your full forecast coming up.
Women's clothing provided by R.W. & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Very mild out there. We had temperatures soaring well above the freezing mark here in southern Manitoba, but it comes with a couple of things. Clouds helping to moderate those temperatures, but also you can see on the satellite radar precipitation, but various forms of it. And you can see it's coming quite close to Winnipeg. In fact, if you're on the northern or eastern sides of the city, you might be seeing some of this coming through. It's not just snow, as you can see closer to the city. It's outright rain showers falling. And maybe a little bit of freezing rain in there too. There is the risk of it, but you saw that snow will continue to the east of the city and over into northwestern Ontario. And you know, once those temperatures start to drop back below freezing, that's going to polish the roads, the sidewalks, the highways, and it's going to get pretty slippery. In Kenora, it's 0, still above freezing here all across southern Manitoba. 2 in Winnipeg. Look at this, 6 in Portage, 5 in Brandon, up in the north, -18 in Thompson. That's the thing, as the temperatures were rising today, significantly here in the south, they were dropping across the north this afternoon, just -21 in Lynn Lake in the northwest and Churchill and Gillam in the northeast. So as we go through the next couple of hours, watch how this drops. So there is the possibility. There you go. Now it's starting to drop. In the next hour or two, that we could see that mixed precipitation coming right through the city and the Red River Valley, but not just here, of course, back up across a good swath of southern Manitoba and to the southeast into northwestern Ontario. That will continue tonight. Meanwhile, up north, you can see the sky starts to clear. We will catch up before morning, and that will set the stage for sunshine on Friday, but that means also that temperatures will be considerably colder than they were today. But the good news there is that by the time we get to the weekend, we get a nice warm warm up. Not as warm as today, mind you, but still quite warm, but we will lose the sunshine. That's the trade-off. As we get into late Friday night, a little bit more snow starts to creep into west central parts of the province, the Interlake, and back up into the northwest overnight, and that will continue to spread as we get into Saturday. For tonight, we will likely see evening rain showers or snow showers. We clear out for the most part by morning. We drop down to -16. We'll see winds start to strengthen too late tonight out of the north at 30, gusting to 50 kilometers an hour. Those winds will back off during the commute. North winds, though, throughout the day tomorrow, 20 kilometers an hour, sunny, and you see the temperature will hold steady at around -15 degrees. Then we get to the weekend, cloudy both days, but mild too. -6 degrees on Saturday, up to -2 on Sunday, 0 on Monday, mostly cloudy, and then -4, -5 on Tuesday. We'll get more of a mix of sun and cloud by the midweek. Our first weather photo takes us out to Ebb and Flow First Nation. That lovely shot was sent to us by Marcella. Nice one. And this next one is a look out at that beautiful sky out at St. Andrews. That was close to Highway 8. Debbie says you can send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. A woman from Opaskwayak Cree Nation is ready for takeoff.
There's no other feeling in the world when you accomplish your dream, and I'm living proof of that.
Kimberly Ballantyne is officially the first woman from her community to earn her commercial pilot's license. Ballantyne says it's a dream she's been building towards since falling in love with aviation as a child, but the journey to the skies was not an easy one. The single mom had to drop out of ground school 9 times due to funding. On her 10th attempt, she won a scholarship and in 2021 became the first woman from her community to get her private pilot's license. Now, she has some additional training to complete, but is hoping to eventually work for a Manitoba airline.
Once I began to learn more of what the airliners do for our northern communities, it made me that much more motivated to be part of it and to, exactly that, show others that Indigenous people belong in these positions as well. You just have to have the motivation and discipline to follow through because it's a lot of hard work.
Ballantyne hopes her story can inspire others, particularly Indigenous women, to pursue careers in the industry, and she'll be offering career advice at the Manitoba Aviation Conference and Career Fair on February 23rd through to the 25th right here in Winnipeg. Congratulations.
Yeah, good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats indeed.
Good real-life example of, don't quit just because you get some bumps in the road.
Yeah. Nope. That means you can soar in the air like she is. Awesome.
Look at that. All right. Hope to see her on a flight soon.
Yes.
All right. That does it for us this hour. Don't go farther. We're back at 6 with much more local news. Hope to see you then.